So hi everyone, welcome to the Faculty of Arts Welcome Day session. If you're a student entering the Faculty of Arts for winter term, you're in the right place. My name is Haley Gadgetar. I do communications for the faculty, and I'm gonna get the session started for us today. Also, I wanted everyone to be aware that the session is being recorded once again. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that although we are not here together today, we're here virtually together. The U of M campuses are located on the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on those territories, and we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past. We dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I will now pass the microphone on to Zlata, Kaylin, and Alex, our three art student ambassadors who will present this session today.
Hello. We're so happy you're here. My name is Zlata Odrovitz, and I'd just like to start off by saying that you made the right choice by picking the Faculty of Arts. Today, we're going to give you some basic reminders for all of you first-year students. We're going to introduce you to some great people, and we're going to give you some tips to get you through your first term.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Kaylin Lazaro, and I just have a few housekeeping items to cover. If you have a question during the session, please use the chat function to ask it. We may not answer it right away, but there will be a time at the end for questions. So if we don't cover it during the presentation, we'll be sure to catch it there. We often find that many questions students have are usually answered during the presentations. So please hold on to your questions to the end if you can. Throughout the presentation, I encourage you to take a screenshot of any of the slides you'd like. We will have some with web addresses listed that you might like to refer to later. Also remember that this session is recorded and it will be available in a few days on our Faculty of Arts YouTube channel if you'd like to go back and refer to anything a second time.
Hi, I'm Alex Rana. We're so happy that you chose arts. So what is arts all about? Well, first, we can tell you that you've chosen a popular place. Arts is one of the largest faculties on campus, and we have over 5,000 undergraduate students, just over 450 graduate students, and 26 different areas of study.
And beyond the classroom, there's so many things that you as students can get involved in. Each of you is sure to find something that interests you personally. We have 6 areas that offer co-op programs and a large number of travel and exchange opportunities for when we're back to in-person and those start up again. There are so many student groups to join and student governance positions to fill and research opportunities. But before we really get into it, I'd like to introduce you to one of our Associate Deans of the Faculty of Arts, Dr. Jason Leboe-McGowan.
Thanks very much for that introduction. Well, I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Jason Leboe-McGowan. I've been at the University of Manitoba since 2002. And most of that time I've spent as a psychology professor. My specialty as far as research goes, I specialize in human memory, and perceptual processes, other basic cognitive processes. Anyway, that's what my research program is about. But of course, I've taught a lot of courses. I've taught the Introduction to Psychology course. I've taught a lot of sections of a course on human memory, as well as other courses on critical thinking. I've been an associate dean in the Faculty of Arts for about the past 10 years, which is hard to believe. I've enjoyed my entire time working within the Faculty of Arts at the University of Manitoba. And of course, I have a Bachelor of Arts degree and a Master of Arts degree, and I did my doctorate in psychology, which gave me a good exposure to all the faculties of arts can provide. And I agree. I think you made an excellent choice. I could think of no better place to get a good sense of society, how the world works, how people work within the world. As an undergraduate, my studies were mainly in psychology, but also in history. So I had I developed a good sense of the range of knowledge that faculties of arts can provide. And I use it every day. I use the knowledge that I've acquired in psychology and even in history on a daily basis, provides a really good comprehensive understanding of why the world functions the way it does, what are the problems that exist in the world, gives a sense of how a person might go about solving some of the considerable problems that we have in the world. So I think you made a terrific choice. And I think an arts degree is an excellent way to kick off a successful career. I certainly can't complain about the career I've had as a result of my education in my case, in a faculty of arts at Simon Fraser University. But you'll find once you start taking courses here, you'll find that the instructors of your courses are knowledgeable. They have expertise in areas that you couldn't develop an understanding of without their guidance and without the courses that they offer. I mean, I'm a bit jealous because I wish I could start all over again and go through the whole process again. But here I am just advocating and congratulating you on your decision to be an art student. I remember my first term as a university student. It's not easy making the transition. I had a lot of success as a high school student, and then I got to university and I got a bit slammed by it. And I found it quite difficult. But then I got the hang of it. Takes a bit of time, got the hang of it, and obviously wouldn't be here if I didn't figure it out. So my guess is some of you might have that same experience. You might find it's quite a level up in terms of the difficulty of and performing well in courses, but hang in there and you'll get the hang of it. Just if I had to give myself some advice, what I would have said is be a bit patient. You're going to get the hang of it. Don't worry too much about it. It's going to be an initial struggle, initial stage of working things out. But don't worry about whether you belong in university. Everybody who's been admitted to our faculty belongs in university. Now the question is, are you gonna forgive yourself for having a bit of challenge early on? Lucky. I mean, if you don't have that kind of challenge in making the transition into university courses, you're lucky. Many of you will, and I just want you to persist. That's what I would have told myself. I mean, I think I must have told myself that at the time, because here I am, right? I got my bachelor's degree and then I went to graduate school. Anyways, I want people to not get too discouraged. It's not an easy transition, and it's all the more difficult in a pandemic situation. But you all can do it. Just hang in there and keep working hard. You'll figure it out. And by the end of my training at an undergraduate level, I felt like it was not easy. It's never really easy, but I felt like I was well competent to succeed in my courses, and you'll get there. And I mean, if you start and it's no problem for you, wow, that's great. Very impressive. You're very lucky. Many people will find it a difficult transition. Just hang in there, you'll do fine. Anyway, that's me. And I want to move along. I want to tell you a little bit more about what goes on in our faculty. In your time with us, you'll be taking courses in what are traditionally referred to as the liberal arts. Now, what the goals of our liberal arts education are, it's to provide students with an education in the humanities and social sciences, while at the same time preparing you for a future career. And arts education will provide you with many things that you'll then carry with you throughout your career in life. And as I said, this is something that I've experienced personally. It'll help to broaden your mind. It's going to help teach you how to gather facts, interpret information, make informed decisions, and it'll help you learn different viewpoints, different perspectives on how to think about things. Our courses are split into three primary areas called the humanities, the social sciences, and interdisciplinary studies. You can gain more information about all of these areas and what you will study in them by watching our Arts Prep Week webinar recordings. These videos are available on our YouTube channel. The link to the channel is being posted on the chat. It's right there in the chat for you. Or you can go back and get the links to the videos in your U of M student email that we sent to you earlier this week. In the sessions, our professors provided valuable insight into introductory courses you could take, possible career paths, and more. So if we move along to the next slide, I can show you all the areas of study that we offer for students to major or minor in. It's a good reminder of the many choices available to you. I mean, you couldn't possibly do all of them. You're going to have to pick and choose. I mean, they're all terrific options. You may already have an idea of what you'd like to focus on, or you may not. Perhaps you've registered for a variety of courses from different areas to help you choose your future major. That's not a bad strategy. Many students decide, and incidentally, what I might have told myself at the beginning of my undergraduate studies as well is don't worry too much about figuring out what you're going to be doing. I had no idea I would end up as a psychologist. That's okay. Take a bunch of courses, see what you like. And that's a good guide of where you should focus. Many students decide what to major in after their first year of study. So don't worry about if you don't know for sure what you want to specialize in. You also know that your classes this term will be conducted remotely, at least until the end of winter break on February 26th. While we won't know about any updates to this schedule for a while, we're hopeful for a return to campus sometime this term, and the University of Manitoba will continue to communicate any changes or updates to students as the term progresses. Your fellow students are going to share some tips with you today on how to successfully navigate your way through your first term in arts. They faced remote learning last year and during the fall term, and we'll be able to tell you firsthand what works and what does not. I'd like to reassure you that even while we are remote, you will still have access to professors and academic advisors who will be there to help guide you along the way. And you'll have the opportunity to be a part of activities that allow you to experience your university education in a unique way. Once we eventually make the move back to campus, your faculty will also be there to support your transition from home to campus. In this ever-changing environment, we continue to learn as we go along, and our instructors and staff are all dedicated to providing you, our students, with a top quality education and experience. We could move along to the next slide here. I just want to say at the end of your time with us, when you earn your arts degree, you'll be equipped to pursue a wide variety of exciting and challenging careers in today's changing world. Arts degree holders are in demand because they have all the kinds of skills that are very flexible and can be applied to a lot of different career paths. Being able to communicate through writing, being able to do research, critical thinking, all just broadly applicable to many, many different careers. Here, we're going to show you just a handful of occupations that may fit you and that you could do with an arts degree and some related work experience. Or you may find you'd like to continue your studies. Many students start at arts and use what they learn here as a base for a specialized degree in law, health sciences, education, or like me, they may go on to a master's degree or to go for a doctorate degree. Through Welcome Day today, you'll hear from students who will share their experiences and stories with you. I encourage you to listen closely to them. They were in your position as a first-year student not that long ago, not as long as I was ago. When I started university, they didn't have email yet at university. They had it the next year. So I'm not that old, but I am a bit old. So they didn't have email the first year, but they had it for the second year I was in university. They'll all have valuable tips to share. Their experience is a lot closer than mine to what it's like to be a first-year student. But I want to wish you good luck this term. I'm really grateful that you've chosen the Faculty of Arts to pursue your studies in. And I hope it goes well. As I said, there'll be challenges, but I want you to hang in there because you'll get the hang of it. I'm going to pass it now back to Zlata, who has a poll for us.
Thank you so much. So Dr. Leboe, McGowan reminded us of the many studies, many areas of studies in the Faculty of Arts. And now we'd like to hear from you. Have you chosen a major yet? So now we're going to have a bit of time to answer the poll. I'm really looking forward to seeing the results. All right, so it looks like psychology is one of the most popular fields here, which is amazing with 38%. So great. I also took an intro to psychology class back when I was closer to my first year. So good stuff. And tied together are political studies and sociology and criminology. Okay, good option, guys. And 19% have chosen a different area, which is great. And 19% of you are not sure yet, and you're gonna take a few classes to decide, which, as we've established, is a totally valid option and something you can definitely do as a first year. All right, so now I'm gonna introduce another special speaker who is the Arts Student Body Council president. And the Arts Student Body Council is our student governance body who represent all of us, students in the Faculty of Arts. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to Ferdine.
Thank you, Zlata. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. My name is Ferdin Zarif, and I go by the pronouns he, him. I'm a final semester economics and society student finishing an advanced degree. I chose the Faculty of Arts because I felt that on top of learning from the most world-class minds, it always shared an ideology of being about the people and the different cultures that constitute our community that I truly admire. And I've always been interested in learning about developing our community and having an economical understanding of the world around us. As Lada mentioned, I'm also your president of the Arts Student Body Council, also known as ASBC. As our faculty student body, ASBC represents all 6,000 plus art students on campus. We serve as a voice for students at UMSU, Senate, and in bursary and faculty committees. We also offer a bunch of services such as book sales, volunteer opportunities, and lockers when we're on campus. Due to the transitioning nature of this semester, most of our activities will take place virtually. Our counselors have gone above and beyond to make sure that there's tons of academic and social programming for our students this semester, such as our mental health working group, our racialized book club, Wellness Wednesdays program, sustainability cookbook, and tons of giveaways, just to name a few of our initiatives. Our BOD and Senate members are also posting daily updates with each meeting on our Instagram feed. To get involved in ASBC this year, we'll be having our elections and the dates will be announced soon by email and Instagram. If you're interested, feel free to email us or you can reach out to me personally as well. Just from my personal experience, I'll highly recommend you to give it a chance. There will be a workshop in February and I invite you all to attend it. You can follow us on our Instagram at um.asbc for all updates and resources and links for all ongoing events and projects. Our amazing comms team is always there to answer any of your questions there, and you can also reach us by email. As you enter a new semester in these unprecedented times, I wish you all good luck. And for students who are new to our school and faculty, welcome to the Faculty of Arts. I'm very excited for this wonderful journey that you're about to experience here. I strongly encourage that you get involved in the community by participating in committees, volunteering for different events, speaking to different teachers in your courses. And ASBC has always been a wonderful place for students to develop their leadership skills and making new friends. It'll help you make a lot of important connections in school, and it definitely provides you with a chance to find yourself while developing lifelong skills that you can carry on in the real world, and you just might make some amazing memories to remember for the rest of your life. Thank you again and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much, Fardeen. Now the rest of us will introduce ourselves. We are your art students ambassadors and we're here to help. Like I said earlier, my name is Kaylin. I use the pronouns she and her. I am in my second year of my studies and I am majoring in criminology and minoring in family social sciences. And I'm joining the meeting today from Winnipeg. And now I'll pass it on to Zlata.
Hi everyone, I'm Zlata. I use she, her pronouns. I'm in my fourth year of studies doing an honors degree with a double major in linguistics and English. I'm actually an international student from Ukraine. And a fun fact about me is that I was 16 when I first started university. And now I'll pass this over to Alex.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alex. My pronouns are he and him. I'm in my third year, also doing a double honors degree in English and linguistics. Um, I moved here from the States after I graduated high school, and I'm joining today from Winnipeg. All right, so let's take a moment to learn a little bit more about you all. Since we're not on campus, where are you going to be studying from to start this term? So answer the question on your screen right now, and then we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so it seems like there's a split equally between people who are in Winnipeg and who are currently outside of Canada, with 45% of you for each of those. And then a couple of you are in Manitoba, but not in Winnipeg. So now let's talk about what to expect when classes start on Monday. What will this look like?
First thing to understand is a reality check. One thing we can guarantee is that you are not in high school anymore, and it is now up to you to take control of your time. No one will be monitoring you or sending updates to your parents. Time management is up to you. You'll need to plan out your time, your classes in advance, and plan out your entire degree. There are tons of people who can help you do that, but you must initiate it. And a reality that many students are not ready for is a deadline here in university. No extensions, no changes, just hand in your stuff on time. We've already shown you the programs we have to study and so many options you have. There are also plenty of student groups, trips, a theater program, language programs, student contests, volunteer options, and even student job opportunities. You just have to be open to them and take advantage of them. Your experience at school this term is going to look a little different than what you would expect it to be. It's going to look more like the photo on the left instead of the right, at least just for now. We hope we'll get back to campus soon, but in the meantime, we have some tips and tricks to share with you to get through this term.
So now it's time for some tips for success. The first one is advanced preparation. It is very, very important to use your syllabus. You're going to get it first thing on Monday. And this is your course outline. There's going to be a ton of important information about the class, the professor, how to contact them, what the schedule is like, which of your lectures are going to be live and which ones are remote. There are going to be all the deadlines there, the types of assignments, the expectations for the class. So it's very important to mark those deadlines and just generally refer to your syllabus as you go throughout the term. It's also very important to prepare to your classes, especially in arts classes. It's crucial to come to class having done the reading and being able to participate, which leads me to my next point, which is attentive participation. It's super important to feel like you're in class. Even if you're in your room, you're still connecting to a group of people, even though it's remote. It's still a class, and so you have to be respectful of the environment, but also as attentive as you would be in person. I highly recommend taking notes and turning off your phone and just generally limiting distractions. It's very important to focus on your class. And in a lot of arts courses, participation is key as it makes up to 15% of your grade. So earn those participation marks.
Next, we have active review. So one of the most important things is to ask questions, whether that be questions to your prof or even to your classmates. They might have more info than you would know. You can also go back and fill in your notes from the lecture or rewrite your notes. Personally, I like to write a rough draft of my notes during the class and then right after rewrite them so they're all neat and pretty. And then the next thing is to self-test, whether that be verbally or with cue cards or Quizlet. Quizlet's my favorite.
All right, and so the final tip for success is to begin now. Be sure to attend your classes and be on time, because not all of them will be recorded to watch later. And even if they are, I find that establishing a routine like that, going to the live lectures, is definitely more helpful for keeping yourself on track. The next thing is to start your assignments early. Well, I'm sure we all have procrastinated in the past. It's definitely not a fun experience when you're at the final crunch time. So getting started early will make sure you're much less stressed out and also give you a chance to ask your professors any questions about the assignment that come up. And then finally, you can create a study schedule. So speaking of a study schedule, here's an example of what one can look like. You can schedule in your classes, work, time with friends and family, sleep, and study time. So on this schedule, it looks like the student can sleep in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they are pretty lucky for that. And did you know the recommended ratio for study time is 2 hours of study for every 1 hour of class? That seems like a lot, but it is necessary. So be sure to build a study schedule that works for you. And hopefully the number one priority you have is attending class and studying. So it's time for another poll now. And for this one, tell us what you do on your break time. For me, I like to either just go on my phone and text my friends, or when the weather is nicer outside, I like to go for a walk as well. All right, so it seems like the most popular answer with 65% is watch Netflix, followed by going on Snapchat or online and taking a nap, and then going for a walk and baking something. Those are all pretty good options for things to do when you're trying to take a break.
As we said earlier, all arts courses will be taught by remote learning this term, at least for the first half of the term. Remote learning courses are all accessible through the U of M's learning management system called UMLearn. You should be receiving an email from your arts instructors providing you with either a Zoom or a WebEx link for your very first class in each subject. And if you haven't, you can also look in the UMLearn in the course overview section for each of your classes. To prepare for classes, we encourage you to prep your work area. So by that, we just mean grab your headphones, get your webcam and computer ready, have a space where you can spread out your textbooks, your readings, your computer, and your writing space. And also this term, you should expect a mix of live classes, recorded lectures that you can go back to and review, and some supplementary videos and learnings. Testing will also be online, which can look like multiple choice questions, calculations, short answers, and essays, all the things that we'd be tested on paper. Your instructors will provide all the info in advance so you are ready and prepared. Each year on Welcome Day, we encourage students to get to know their profs. Visit during office hours, talk during class. You can even do these remotely. There will still be office hours and ways to connect with your instructor when you have questions. But be warned, they won't be answering a direct message at 2 a.m., but they are there to support you during regular office times. Speaking of which, ask questions early. Don't wait until the day before the exam. That's just too late. Make sure you connect with fellow students and teaching assistants too, so you have a network of people to get the answers from. You'll find that your instructors have varying levels of comfort with technology. Some will use more tools than others, and that's okay. The important part is just how you are able to get the info that you need to learn the materials. And remember to not use your personal email addresses like your Gmail, your Hotmail, or your Yahoo accounts. Just make sure to use your U Manitoba email to communicate with professors and university staff. Check your email at least a few times per week for info on deadlines and important announcements from the university and the Faculty of Arts. Everybody needs support. Some you build yourself, and some are available through the U of M. Many U of M supports have adapted so that they can still be accessed even though we're not on campus. Connect with your classmates by building or joining an online study group. You can join a student group to meet new people, volunteer for a committee or a service group, can talk to your family or roommates about being supportive, but also quiet while you are learning in class or studying. The Academic Learning Center has online workshops, tutors, and more to help you get through your studies. We'll tell you more about them on the next slide. Don't be afraid to use their services. The university also offers counseling, spiritual, health, and mental health services. We'll be putting a link to the student support webpage in the chat right now. Arts Student Body Council has teamed up with the Faculty of Arts to share a mental health resource guide for students. We've heard from students over the past year that it can be hard to find resources and to know which one is right for their situation. So we've put together a quick little guide with the most common resources for you. You can scan the QR code right now on the screen, or you can easily get to the guide from your phone. In the next few days, you'll be receiving an email from the Arts Student Body Council with the full list of supports and the QR code in case you don't get to access it here right now. There are so many people wanting to help. Please reach out and you'll find someone who can connect you to the right person for each question or need you have.
All right, now let's talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart as someone who works for the Academic Learning Center. But the Academic Learning Center provides a number of different supports and services to all of us U of M students. They offer over 100 workshops each year for students, and many of those are geared towards new students. So that's where you guys come into play. The Academic Learning Center's most popular service is one-on-one tutoring, which includes writing tutoring, study skill tutoring, and content tutoring. And content tutoring deals with classes like psychology, anthropology, sociology, but also stats and math. And you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm in arts, I'm not really going to need that, but don't forget about the science and the math requirement. Also, the Academic Learning Center has identified some of the most difficult classes historically that have been for students, but also those which are quite popular and a lot of students take. And those classes are, for instance, Stat 1000 and Econ 1010. And there are supplemental instruction services provided by the Academic Learning Center. So these are voluntary sessions that offer students the opportunity to ask questions about the course, discuss the course content, solve practice problems, and develop further study strategies. Students who attend these say that they get a better understanding of the course content, and this way they can get a better grade, but also use those skills in their future courses. If this is offered for one of your courses, it is likely that your instructor will let you know through putting the link on the syllabus or somewhere on UMLearn, but you can also go and check the Academic Learning Center webpage to see which courses these services are provided for. Also, there are resources on the Academic Learning Center website that has tip sheets and videos for students who want to learn independently. These videos and tip sheets cover things like how to create an outline if you're writing an essay, how to develop a strong thesis statement, how to come up with a good title, how to paraphrase, etc. They also have links for citations and how to cite in various formats that your classes might require. There are also tips for other study strategies, such as how to take a multiple choice exam or how to write essay exams. These tips are very important because it might be the case for you that you have not written an exam for a while because of COVID-19 and online learning. However, here at the U of M, we have exams nonetheless, whether in person or virtual. So it's important to brush up on those exam taking skills. Finally, if you are new to the English language, if English is not your first language and you're still developing your mastery of it, the Academic Learning Center has supports for that as well. And an extra bonus about the ALC is that all of their services are free for U of M students. Well, you might be thinking, well, I don't really need to use these services. I'm already doing so well. I know how to write. I know how to study. However, I still want you to consider using these services. As from my personal experience working as a writing tutor and just generally being in school, I know that there's always room for growth and improvement, whether it be things like writing an essay or just like brushing up on your study skills. I would recommend figuring these out early on in advance, so you're not disappointed with your first grade. So for instance, with writing, it is very useful to have a deadline before your actual deadline for that class when you want to submit your draft to the writing tutors, for instance. And from my experience, even though they're good essays and they're better essays and they're essays which could use some work, I still have feedback to give to each student who comes to use the services. So regardless of what level you're on, you're still going to find it helpful. Online writing tutoring is especially popular right now with email feedback appointments where students can just send in their draft, and we as writing tutors sit down with it for 45 minutes during our shift, and we send a student an email with detailed tips on what they can improve. And this is very helpful. It's always useful to have an extra pair of eyes look over your paper and give you suggestions, and just committing yourself to submitting a draft also, like I mentioned, gives you a deadline ahead of the deadline. So now we're going to put the link to the Academic Learning Center homepage in the chat.
After all of this, if you still have questions that you can't find an answer to, you can connect with an arts academic advisor. Advisors can help with things like registration, your degree planning, helping you pick a major, and co-curricular activities. You can either email or call the number on your screen, and you can also connect with advisors using our online chat, and the link is being placed in the chat right now. Quick questions will be responded to by chat or by a follow-up email. If a question is more complicated, advisors will book an appointment with you to discuss it further. There are so many rules and procedures at university. If there's something you don't understand, don't just guess, you can come and ask. Advisors can also connect you to other resources on campus that can help. Personally, I highly recommend connecting with an advisor. In the summer, when I was pretty confused about what courses I really needed to take that would count towards my major and minor, I connected with one right away, and it might be scary at first, but they were so helpful on the phone. Connecting with an advisor is voluntary. It's really up to you to ask the questions to stay on top of your degree and throughout your degree.
So here at university, there's plenty of opportunities outside of the classroom. I'm going to introduce you to a few of them right now. We have travel study programs at over 40 countries around the world. And in these, you can go and study for 1 term or more. These are on hold right now due to the pandemic, but hopefully by the time you'll be ready to travel, things will be up and running again. We also have what we call field study classes in arts, where the main part of your class takes place outside of a classroom. Like an archaeological dig or a community garden or a cooking lab for our food histories course. A lot of these types of courses take place in the summer term. So please watch for these types of courses in the future terms when in-person learning starts again. We also have experiential education, which is volunteer opportunities. You'll hear about programs like Alternative Reading Week and community service programs. Or you can become an arts ambassador like us. We also have a co-op option in arts. This is something you'll want to start investigating around the end of your first year. If you're interested, please read about it on our website and then make an appointment with an arts academic advisor. A link to the arts co-op webpage is being placed into the chat. And did you know you don't have to be a grad student to do research? Undergraduate research opportunities are available. Some of these are paid and some are unpaid. Some run during the school year, and some, like the Undergraduate Research Award Program, are essentially a full-time summer job where you conduct research. Zlata has participated in this, for the past 2 summers and can answer any questions that you may have about that at the end of the presentation. For me, one way that I got involved outside of the classroom is working on the Arts Tribune, where I'm currently the managing editor. I met a lot of different people in this role and definitely gained plenty of new skills, organization, communication, and improved on my editing and writing skills. So it's definitely a good opportunity.
As we mentioned earlier, here at Arts, we have plenty of student groups you can consider joining. Take a look at the slide. Is there anything you're interested in? Personally, I am involved in the Art Student Body Council and the Sociology and Criminology Association of Students. If you want to check them out before joining, that's completely fine too. Most groups have social media where you can follow and learn about what they do before you join. The Faculty of Arts Instagram page shares content for many of the groups, so it's an easy place to start to find out more about them.
So now it's time for us to give you some valuable sage advice. If I could go back in time, put myself in your seat, and visit myself on my first day of university, what's the most important piece of advice that I would give to myself? Personally, I would say to get involved as early as I can and not to be afraid of reaching out to things I'm interested in and putting myself out there for different opportunities.
The piece of advice I'd give myself on the first day of university, if I could go back in time, is to, that's a hard one, is to develop my study habits early on. My first year was a little rough just because I wasn't 100% sure what worked for me. And it wasn't until my second year that I developed my study habits. So I'd say if I developed my study habits the first year, my first year wouldn't have gone as rough as it did.
Great tips. Thank you, guys. If I could give myself a piece of advice, it would probably be to try to go beyond what I learned in class. This for me can mean a variety of things, from doing my own research to coming to professors and asking questions. And also, like often in the syllabus, professors will include useful resources for external reading to expand your understanding of the course content. And I just find that really helpful. Alrighty, so now it's time for some important reminders. So now let's talk about the Faculty of Arts web pages. So the link to those have been put in the chat, and this is where you go to find out more information about the specific departments and programs and their contact information. Or for instance, when you're ready to contact an arts academic advisor, which for one I would totally recommend, but cannot remember the email to use, it's there on the student's experience page. So you can also use this website to look into applying for a travel study or a co-op program, or if you want to see what scholarships are available. So all of that is on students' experiences.
So as you plan your course schedule for the next few years, please be reminded that new students who are entering the Faculty of Arts as of fall 2021 or later, so this means you, must include at least 3 credit hours of Indigenous course content at some point during their degree in order to graduate with a Bachelor of Arts. You may complete the course requirement at any time throughout your degree. You do not have to take this course requirement in your first year. However, it is recommended to complete this in the early stages of your degree to avoid the disappointment of full classes or your preferred course choice not being offered in a particular term. This new requirement aims to provide art students with an understanding of the place of Indigenous people in Manitoba and Canada's history, and will provide our future graduates with more tools to understand how history is woven into many aspects of contemporary society, including your future workplaces. This is in response to the goal in the University of Manitoba strategic plan that calls for every student to graduate with a basic understanding of the importance and contributions of Indigenous people in Manitoba and Canada. So on the screen, we have a current list of courses that fulfill this requirement. As a note, the Department of Indigenous Studies recently went through a name change, so all of these courses are still listed as Native Studies. We recommend you check the academic calendar regularly, as more courses will be added to this list over time. We also sent you an email about this requirement earlier in the week, so be sure to check your inbox for that. You're also going to want to follow us on social media to start getting to know your faculty. You can follow us now or take a screenshot of the slide and you can go back to it later. During the term, we post highlights about the Faculty of Arts. We tell you about the amazing research that's being conducted by professors and students and let you know about research opportunities for students. We'll also share posts about writing workshops, contests, talks given by employers or alumni, and even job opportunities for students. And we post tips at key times of the year, like exam time and during career month. We share stories of current students as well as alumni to help give you ideas on what to major in, possible career choices, and more. And we always use our social media to remind you of key dates, like the deadlines to drop or add courses. There's always something new in the Faculty of Arts to tell you about. So now we'd like to ask how you prefer to get information about and news from your faculty. So please answer the question on your screen now and we'll take a look at the results. All right, so it seems like the top choice for receiving info and news is the U of M email. That is my personal top choice as well. And that's followed by Instagram and the U of M website.
Speaking of staying on top of news, UM Commons is the university's online hub for all things first year. You'll find info on how to get your student ID card online, links to the Academic Learning Center and tutors, career services, libraries, and the student communities and clubs page. Perhaps you are looking to meet other Indigenous students or 2S LGBTQ+ students, or you'd like to know more about supports for international students. UM Commons is the place you can start. You'll also find lists of academic clubs, health and wellness clubs, social justice and community service clubs, sports and rec, and networking clubs. Besides the art groups that we already showed you, there are well over 100 clubs listed on this page, and they keep adding more. On the UM Commons, you can also connect with a peer mentor and get support for learning remotely. As a first-year student, the Commons was built just for you, and we encourage you to take some time and check it out. A link to the Commons page is being added to the chat now. Here are the top University of Manitoba apps available to you. The first one is the U Manitoba mobile app. It is the main app for finding books, your course schedule, exams, final grades, campus maps, links to your email, your Aurora, Learn. There's just so much on this app. Second is the Recreation. It is the app for finding out gym schedules and the variety of activities and fitness services and classes offered. This is also where you'll find a link to booking a workout. Third is Safe. It's a super simple app with campus security phone numbers and safety resources. It's great for resident students or international students, basically anyone on campus really. 4 is Libraries. Manitoba Library cardholders can use the self-checkout app to check out items from any library, including the Bannatyne campus. Links to the apps are being added to the chat right now.
At the University of Manitoba, we want to build a safe and inclusive campus where students, professors, and staff are all treated with respect and can feel safe from the threat of violence and be supported if they need it. Much of this has to do with the way we all conduct ourselves and treat each other. There's a series of 5 online modules on sexual violence accessible on Learn, and covering topics such as discussions of consent, power dynamics, and conflicts of interest, busting common myths about sexual violence, and an introduction to all of U of M sexual violence support, including the U of M Sexual Violence Resource Center, which is open for services by phone and email during the campus closure. A link to sexual violence support and education webpage is being placed in the chat right now. Please work with us to make our university safe and inclusive for all. So now we've come to the end of our welcome session, but you, of course, are just starting on your exciting journey. So this is what the end will look like in 3, 4, or maybe 5 years from now. Welcome again to the Faculty of Arts and make the most out of your time here. Hope we love it, you love it as much as we do. And now we're gonna open it up for questions. So feel free to ask those in the chat.
Yeah, please use the chat function to type in your questions, or you can raise your hand using the icon on the Zoom menu. If you're comfortable, I'm going to open up your options to unmute yourself and start your video. And you are free to ask a question that way. As our questions start to come in, I'd like to remind everyone that if your questions pertain to things outside of today's topics, we recommend that you search umanitoba.ca. website is always a good place to start when you have general questions. You can use the search function on the website or use the Ask U Manitoba button to type in your questions, and you'll receive an online response. For example, there are dedicated offices for the International Center, Student Life, and First Year Center that can answer questions directly related to those areas. So we will take some questions. We have one. Is the co-op program available with an honors degree in psychology, or is it just available with an advanced degree? And we haven't answered that it's only available with an advanced degree to students at this time. Okay, here's another one. Might have to reapply next term, being told that math is a compulsory subject from the next term onwards. So will I have to take math even as a Faculty of Arts student? I believe, yes, it is a requirement for all art students. Yeah,
I can answer that. So 3 credit hours of math are a requirement for all students. So you will need to fulfill that, but you can do so at any point in your degree. It doesn't have to be your first term or anything like that. So if you're feeling like, okay, that's too intimidating for now, you can start off with other things and fulfill that requirement later on in your degree. Just keep it in mind. A good place to look for this information would be the academic calendars to check all the programs requirement and all the programs that are available. I got a private question in the chat during our session, which was about the different programs and what the process is like. I think there was an answer to that, but I will just recommend checking the academic calendar to make sure that the programs that you're interested in both offer the double major option. So that way you can get a double advanced or a double honors degree.
Yes, I've also had a couple direct messages asking about specific programs. So definitely check out the academic calendar for that, because not all of the requirements are the same for how many classes you should take. You should also contact an academic advisor. They'll be able to put you on the right path.
I can answer the question about the honors degree versus advanced degree with co-op, if that's okay, guys.
Absolutely, for sure.
So it really depends on what your career goals are. An honors degree in psychology is really important if you want to pursue graduate training in psychology, because most graduate programs in psychology require an honors degree. If you want to get an undergraduate degree in psychology and get out there, you don't want to do a graduate studies. You want to get out there into the world and have a career. I think an advanced degree with co-op is the best option there, because then as you're getting your degree, as you're working through your degree, you'll be getting work experience. You'll be making contacts with the employers that you work with through the co-op program. And that's really good connections to help set you up really nicely for a career after you finish your undergraduate degree. The honors program in psychology is really for people who want to go directly into a master's program after they're finished their undergraduate degree.
Thank you so much for that. Would someone like to speak on the procedure for how you select your minor?
Sure.
No, you go ahead.
Sorry. So after your first year, and you finish your first year and you take a whole bunch of courses, and those are courses that likely are the entry requirements for your major and your minor, you're going to be able to declare those. And the best way to do that is to speak to an academic advisor from the Faculty of Arts, and they're going to give you the paperwork that you have to fill out. Or if you are not doing an advanced degree or an honors one, or you just want to stay in the general major. So that way, if you don't need to like enter a different program and you just want to declare a minor or a major, you could do so on Aurora. It's pretty simple, as long as you just have that first requirement, which is the entry-level course.
Great, thank you, Zlata. Okay.
As far as Edwina's question about do you have to do every year as an honors degree? Yeah, often students have requirements that they have to meet in their first couple of years before they can gain entry into an honors degree program. So it tends to be the case that students will start in an undeclared situation, and then for maybe, let's say, for, as you say in the question, for your last two years of study, you would be in an honors program. So you wouldn't certainly start there from first year, because there are requirements to meet before being eligible for an honors degree program.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. And I can also speak about my experience getting an honors degree. I initially started off with an advanced degree, but during my time as a university student, the linguistics department got their honors program request was approved. And so it was really exciting. And I got to be one of the first students who declared a major in linguistics within the honors program. So,
oh, great. Congratulations. It's nice to put that together just in time for you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question. As a mature student who's wanting to complete a bachelor's before going into the Faculty of Law, would it be worth it to do an honors program in case the law path didn't work out and they would like to continue into a master's program?
I would say yes. I mean, if you want the option to go to a master's program, you decide, or for whatever reason, the law pathway, you decide against it, or it's blocked you for whatever reason. I think an honors degree program would be a good choice for that. Give you the flexibility, and also I think it would strengthen an application to law school having an honors level degree. So it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Yes, and there was a question about a link to read up on courses, and Amber has added the academic calendar there in the chat for you. Do you have to have an honors degree to do a master's?
That depends on the discipline. In psychology, yes. Other disciplines don't require it. You could pursue graduates. It'll depend. You'd have to look at the specific graduate programs. Some will require an honors degree, others won't.
Yeah, I would generally, if you're just thinking of getting a master's, if your program has an option of doing an honors degree, go for it. Why not?
Yeah, I agreed. I mean, honors degree programs often provide some more opportunities to get some direct research experience, and that can be really helpful for anybody who wants to go to graduate school.
Absolutely.
We have a question about, do we have criminal psychology at the U of M? Not in the psychology department. There's a criminology stream in the Department of Sociology and Criminology. And I'm sure there's a some amount of psychology embedded within that program. But no, we don't have specifically a criminal psychology program at U of M.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I'll give a couple seconds before we wrap things up here.
There was a question, I guess, I noticed. Oh, it's maybe directly to me. That's okay, I'll respond to it.
Okay,
Thank you guys for coming.
yes. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone for joining the session today. And thank you to our student presenters. We love having you guys as arts ambassadors, of course. And Dr. Leboe-McGowan, thank you so much for being here. Please continue to watch your U Manitoba email and our social media for regular information and reminders from the faculty. We wish you the best of luck in your first classes over the next few days and throughout the term. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, bye everybody, thanks. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.